All right, guys, more big news coming out of the LEC today. This one coming from sheepesports.com. Once again, obviously, we had the whole team, working together on this one. We have Alejandro, Wooloo, and Eros coming together to tell us that sources are saying Shio will be Team Heretics jungler in 2026. Now, you might say, hey, what the heck is this story? That doesn't seem like that big of a shock. Whatever, Shio was already with Team Heretics. How is this a story that he's going to be their next jungler? And that is because not only does this have something to do with Shio and Team Heretics, but it affects other players in the LEC ecosystem as well. Most notably, obviously, Razork in this situation. So we can, scroll down a little bit and see that Team Heretics attempted to sign Razork, but without success. Shio will remain the jungler for Team Heretics in 2026, sources tell Sheep Esports on Friday. After both parties explored their options, the French jungler will indeed stay with the Spanish organization, which had talks to sign Razork. For context, Shio was already under contract with Team Heretics until 2026, so this is not news of a contract extension or anything like that. As previously reported on Sheep Esports, Team Heretics had entered discussions with Razork, but will ultimately retain Shio instead. Team Heretics initially targeted Razork, but if that move wasn't possible, Shio was their top priority after Razork. Again, it seems like coming in this offseason, what we're saying is that Razork was the number one priority here that they would have liked to get done. On his side, the French jungler had discussions, so it's talking about Shio now, had discussions with his former team, Team BDS, about a potential return, as well as talking with Fnatic as well, if Heretics was not going to be an option for him, who were also exploring, Fnatic was also exploring their options, because Razork was allowed to explore his options as well. So a ton of different people, Heretics was looking at their options, Shio was looking at their options, Razork was looking at his options, Fnatic was looking at their options. It was potentially this whole carousel, of things going on. Maybe Razork was going to go to Heretics, maybe Shio was going to go to Fnatic, maybe all this different stuff was going to happen. This could have been this crazy story of moving parts, but at the end of the day, again, it ends with Shio staying put at Team Heretics, which obviously means that is at least part of an update to the Razork story, that he will not be going to Team Heretics. Obviously, we don't necessarily know exactly what his future has in store just yet. We know a lot of teams were interested in Razork, it sounded like. From what we were saying, there was some different possibilities and options, but now we're getting a little bit later on in the offseason. Obviously, the options are closing up, and obviously, if Team Heretics has decided to go with Shio, it seems like they were unsuccessful in their courting of Razork for their jungle position in 2026. After locking Stend in the support role and promoting Trayson, Shio becomes the fourth player confirmed for Team Heretics. Only an AD carry is still missing from the roster. The solo laners Carlson and Camilo will not be part of the team next year. The French mid laner has already secured a new spot, joining KCB in the LFL, while the Danish top laner hops aboard the Galleon's ship. Despite Team Heretics' difficult year in the LEC, Shio really stood out. When things worked out for the team, it was mostly thanks to him, and even when they struggled, he delivered performances that were rarely bad. He played 17 different champions over just more than 50 games, achieving an 8th place in winter, 6th place in spring, and 7th in summer. Team Heretics made the playoffs in all 3 splits, something few expected at the start of the year, given their roster included 3 inexperienced players. So again, we're still waiting for the Team Heretics roster to be fully rounded out. Hopefully, we'll be getting that news sooner rather than later. But again, the big news today that Shio will remain Team Heretics jungle for 2026, meaning Razork will not be headed there. So a pretty big update on Razork's future, because again, a lot of people were expecting that if Razork was going to be leaving Fnatic, that he would be headed to Team Heretics, or at least Team Heretics would be one of the biggest and most likely potential options. But now, obviously, that seems to not be the case. We're going to have to, get more updates on this story as it goes on throughout the entire offseason. But definitely stay tuned, because Sheep Esports is going to have all the latest news and information for you for whatever the heck happens next. Pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.